with you.
I feel like it makes you feel emasculated.
Emasculated? No,
Yeah.
no. I think it's just
Definitely
you bring
do.
masculine energy to a relationship. That's what I think.
Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem.
Well, it's a you problem because it won't work out.
Hi everyone, I'm back from holiday, so I'm hoping that I'll catch up with my reviews ASAP. I was just exhausted. I was really exploring, trying to make the most of my buck. Anyway, these people, I really don't understand why we had the last 3 marriages. Let's be for real. You have the two guys where one is expecting a child and enter the experiment knowing full well that they were expecting a child. Why didn't the experts question the partner to say, how do you feel if the person you're getting married to is expecting a child? And that person could have answered yes or no. Because now it's a problem that we don't need, and it's unnecessary drama. Unless that's the storyline they're going to run with for the rest of the season, it doesn't make sense why you'd marry someone and not tell them the truth about yourself. I have to give it to Gia. She told the man about her child, but I don't even know what's happening with these two. And then you have, Juliet and Joel. Juliet and Joel is a dumpster fire. We already have a quirky couple in Rachel and Stephen. We do not need Joel and Juliet. Please, can we send them home? Keep them for another season, maybe season 45 or something like that. And then you have, poor small D man. Anyway, that's what you get. Stephanie and her husband, we all remember very well, were braggadocious Tyson about how they were, all for the MAGA. And so, hey, this is what you get when you go to the dump. This is what you pick up. So I am not sort of empathizing with either one of them because of how hypercritical they were and how particular they were about what they wanted. So it is what it is. And then I don't think it's a good idea for Beck to be dressed the way she did. I think she's trying too hard. I think there's a lot more going on with Bec and Danny that we're not knowing. I think there's issues there. As an HCP, I try not to diagnose people just because I don't know them and I don't know their history, but I would be concerned. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. To girl Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 13, Episode 15. Anyway, so we have Juliet. Juliet is feeling some type of way because obviously she's upset at the comments that were made at the wedding. You had Joel go off on a tangent about silly stuff, and then his mom didn't help the situation because she called him a pig and a glutton. So I get why she's feeling some type of way. I get why she's in her feelings and is wondering, what exactly did I sign up for? What did I get myself into? On his part, Joel decides to bring a guest that couldn't make it to the wedding. I thought he was bringing his grandparent. I thought they were going to FaceTime a grandparent who was in a care home and they were going to have a conversation, and the parent was going to sort of, grandparent was going to be excited at meeting his wife. For him to bring a stuffed animal, please, for the love of Jesus, don't just try and be a menace just for the sake of being a menace because you want to have a standout story. I didn't like that. I really didn't like that. I was pleasantly surprised that Juliet didn't make a big deal about it. She said she doesn't mind the stuffed animal. I would be side-eyeing him. Given the fact that his mommy was giving him a tummy rub and everything else, that man needs to go back to where he came from, return to sender, because the sender hasn't done their job. I have an issue with when you come across people in community, you can tell what sort of parenting they came from. And Joel comes across as a gentle parenting type. And so, oh God, my blood. Oh God. Anyway, we move. And so I really don't get it because she told him, she was appalled by the behavior. She didn't understand why his mom would say such negative things about him and why he would say that about himself. And for Joel to suddenly say, oh, everybody that meets my mom loves my mom. I don't understand why she's saying that about my mom. Nobody's ever criticized my mom. Maybe because they were trying to be in your best books. Maybe this is the first honest response you've got from someone who is giving you an unbiased opinion and telling you that you and your mommy are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We then have Tyson and his wife Stephanie. I don't know. I personally don't understand this dude. I really don't. And it scares the bejesus out of me that, if this is what MAFS is screening, what is out there on dating sites is might be more scary than this. Because for him to say, his wife seems more career driven, and so he's not happy, he doesn't want someone with masculine energy. And it's like, what do you mean by masculine energy? Somebody challenging you is not masculine energy. Somebody having a career and a drive is not masculine energy. What exactly is the definition of masculine energy when it comes to you, Tyson? Because the people want to know. I want to know. I think you're a confused little boy who suddenly found yourself in the army, was drilled in the army, whatever you learned, plus whatever, background you come from. I don't want to criticize your family. I don't know them. And that has made this concoction, and society and social media have made this concoction, which has sort of boiled up into this man that speaks just for the sake of speaking, not because he has a point to prove, because there is nothing wrong with his wife outside of her beliefs and who she loves. Okay. I'm side-eyeing the two of them because there is this tension between the two of them. They say, they align on what they asked the experts for. So they gave lip service, but when they got what they asked for, they're now having questions because he doesn't like her because he thinks she's got boss B energy. And, she is worried that she's having to travel with this man. She hasn't traveled with the partner in 10 years. So she is worried about how that's going to play out. I think the two of them shouldn't have got married. I think if there's a commitment ceremony, they should be the first couple to opt out because there's nothing there. There's nothing to write home about. I think they're a menace and they're going to be a troublesome pair. You then have the rest of the couples, they get letters that they are celebrating their 1 month anniversary. Everybody's excited because, it's been a month since they entered the experiment. Gia and Scott are a basket case. Sorry, I don't mean to say that. Should I really know? But Gia and Scott think they are the ones with the best wedding or best marriage. Gia and Scott, the only thing that they have going for them is the physical aspect of their relationship. Everything else is a dumpster fire. But as long as the physical aspect is amazing, because that's what they prioritize, this is why they're happy. For them to have this heart-shaped barbed wire thing with a 13 in the middle, tattoo doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. What are we aiming for? Is this a plan for a long-term relationship? Make that make sense. They are happy, they're giddy, they're excited, they think they're in the best space that they've been. I think it's a dumpster fire. I hope she doesn't introduce him to her kid because I think with time this marriage is going to fade away. Danny and Beck, he arranged a little picnic in their room, and so they had little snacks on there for them to eat. They say they're doing very well. They did sort of talk about Gia, and we saw clips of Gia at the wedding, the way she behaved at Juliet and Joel's wedding. That was appalling. I really agree that was appalling. It was uncalled for, and it wasn't necessary. So I get where they're coming from in regards that, but I think they need to put her on the side and focus on their marriage. You had Beck go and dress up in this lingerie. Okay, if it works for her, amazing, but I personally didn't think it was a good look. I think she needs to do a lot more work, get to know this man, see if he's lying to her about wanting to sort of pursue certain women or certain women being his type before she starts parading herself. If that makes him happy, amazing, but Danny and Beck, I think are another couple that need to go home. We get to meet the final couple to get married. They're a gay couple. They're two gay guys. We have Sam, who's 34. He owns a studio, and so he's, very picky in his partners. He loves the outdoors, and it's like, wow, he looks cute. I love that for him. He is matched with Chris, who is 38. He's a farmer and a gym owner as well. He says apparently he wants kids and is expecting, 2 kids. Well, one, he's a donor for his friend. The other one is going through surrogacy. And so it's like, I side-eye that. I really side-eye that in the sense that, yes, you want monogamy. Yes, you want a family. Yes, you've got the ideal lifestyle that you wanted in the sense that you've got a gym that you can go to and you've got a farm that you live on. That seems amazing. That's romantic novel stuff. But you can't walk into an experiment, marry a stranger and not tell them that. Or not tell the experts to tell the stranger that this is the package that is coming to them. That way they can own up, they can accept it or deny delivery. Because what's the point of you marrying someone, them not knowing that, yes, they are aligned on a lot of things, but the major thing, I always say this about children, that children are a non-negotiable to most people because it's either someone wants children or they don't want children. And it's important that you sort of straighten that out before you say I do. Somebody doesn't want children and you want children, then maybe it's time to keep it stepping and hopefully you find better fish down the stream. But this is not it. Anyway, so you have them, be very excited about getting married, their family. You had Chris's mom and sister come and see him before the wedding. They were excited. Obviously, they know what he wants in a partner, so they're excited for him. They are hoping that he finds the love of his life. Apparently, Chris grew up in a single-parent household because his parents got divorced. And so you have him come as the second groom to arrive to the wedding. First, we have Sam arrive, but prior to their arrival, you had the family sort of exchange pleasantries. And I love that they were sort of trying to suss out what are these two people aligned on, and they were able to find out they both own gyms, they're both into fitness, they both love the outdoors. And so I love that for them. But at the same time, I am questioning the fact that there is this big elephant in the room that we're not addressing. Sam apparently spoke to his parents because they're traveling, and so they were not able to make it. But they did have a conversation about his wedding. They were excited on site. I think it was attraction on site. I think they were excited. It was attraction on site, and so they were cooking with gas, and they were happy with the partner that they were matched with. I loved their reception. Their reception was amazing as well. There was obviously this situation of the kid that is coming, and you had Chris be worried that what will Sam say when he finds out about the kid. And it's like, I would have pulled a Gia. I would have run to him. Well, Gia didn't run to her partner until her uncle had sort of revealed the secret. So I would have tried to sort of run ahead of it. Once we say our vows, as we're taking pictures, I would tell you, I just want you to know, this is my situation. I thought I would never find someone, so I had made plans to have a child through surrogacy. I also donated to my friend who is a lesbian. And then let you sort of digest that before we go any further, because otherwise you're emotionally entangling someone in something that they might not be able to untangle themselves. Because if someone becomes emotionally invested, for you to then turn around and say, oh, actually, I have a kid that's on the way, that's not a good look. I don't like it. I really don't. And I hope at some point they'll have this conversation, because after the wedding, during the reception, you then had them go and sit outside because Chris, I think production were pushing Chris to sort of reveal the secret. And Chris was sort of trying to suss out where Sam stood, because Sam wasn't sort of taking bait about anything about family or children. And Sam is 34, Chris is 38. So they eventually had the conversation, and Chris said, my problem with dating someone older is there are things that they want that I haven't yet reached. And so there is that expectation, like children, there will be an expectation for me to want to be ready for children, and I might not be ready for children. And it's like, well, you've hit the nail on the head, buddy. You've hit the nail on the head, because this is the biggest elephant in the room. So you had Sam say he's not ready for children in the next year, and it's like, oh, this child is in the oven. Anytime now they could pop out. So you might not have a choice to choose as to when you have this child. Anyway, the couples went on their honeymoons. Juliet and Joel, they've decided to give it a go. They really have decided to give it a go. They've decided to start a new page. I think Juliet just wants a happy marriage, and this is why she's trying to give this man grace, because there's no need for her to give him grace. They did spend some time in the pool, and he was saying he hasn't been physically intimate for a long time, and so this is why he's trying his best to sort of stay in the pool and make sure that it's not evident whatever's going on with him. I don't know. I think that man is inappropriate. I think some of the stuff that he's saying is quite scary. So I can't wait to see that mess. You then had Tyson and Stephanie on their honeymoon. Well, they went out on their honeymoon. They were having their meal. They received the honesty box. And the first question was, what is one important thing I should know about you? Tyson said, I take care of myself and I take care of my possessions. It's evident. He was in the army, so obviously that's a given. With her, Steph, on her part, she didn't say anything. The next question was, tell me something about your relationship history. Tyson said, somebody told him about his body count, that it was 78, and he couldn't believe it, and so he broke up with them because he was worried about getting HIV. And it's like, it's not like all 78 partners are going to give you HIV. It's just the one person. So even if you slept with one and someone has slept with 1,000, it just takes one person to give you an STI. So please take several seats or go and read a book. Oh my God, that man gets on my last nerve. And so he said, he was asked, so ideally, what would you want? He said, ideally, you would like someone with 0 sexual partners. And it's like, but you have? Anyway, next question was, how many sexual partners have you had? This was where the interesting bit came, because Tyson said 20 to 30. 20 to 30 is a big number. 10. 10 gap. 10. So make it make sense. Are you just saying that because you're trying to impress someone? Because he said, the number could be higher. Well, on her part, Steph said she's been with 20, and he asked, have you ever been in a relationship? She said no. He said, well, it doesn't make sense that you've had 20 partners and you haven't had any emotional sort of or emotional entanglement with those people. And she said, well, I'm looking for my soulmate. None of them was my soulmate, and besides, I haven't had sex in 3 years. They're a dumpster fire as far as I'm concerned. They are a dumpster fire. And it's really sad that they keep going and going and going and nothing seems to sort of improve. It's just the longer Stephanie and Tyson stay around each other, the worse their marriage becomes. You then have the couples that are celebrating the 1 month anniversary. This is what I'm going to say. I said this in my last review. I'll repeat it. I said the problem with Julie is not attracted to Grayson, or there's nothing there, or she was just there to set a trend and be, the first person on MAFS to sort of come in and say, I'm bisexual and I'll marry whoever. Because when she kissed him on the day of commitment ceremony, I said it. I said she's only done this because she wants him to say stay. And so for her to write this letter and then eventually say, I'm still waiting for the spark, there's no spark. I feel sorry for Grayson. He should have left. He really didn't need to stay the moment he realized that she wasn't feeling him, because he was saying, I feel like my time was wasted. And it's like, buddy, you knew she was wasting your time from the jump. So the idea and the audacity that you sat here with hopes that things were going to change is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. You knew she wasn't that into you. So the least you could have done for yourself is you could have packed your bags and gone home. But you decided to keep flogging a dead horse. And here we are. I love that at least he told Julia that you're wasting my time. I don't think you showed up 100%. I do everything for you. I bring you coffees. I do A, B, C, D, I, D. And she couldn't say anything. And it's like, I feel like Julia wanted to marry a woman, but didn't want to come out and say, I want to marry a woman. She wanted to be a trendsetter and say, I'll marry whoever comes down the aisle. And when she saw Grayson, she realized he was too sweet and she didn't want to break his heart. This is why she didn't want to waste his time, but still wanted to be on the show. So I'm not surprised that this is where they are. Hopefully they both just pack their bags and leave. They don't even need to wait for commitment ceremony. Anyway, the couples that have been married for a while, they were just hanging around. We did see Rachel and Stephen. We didn't hear their conversation. So I assume they're doing well. Anyway, Rachel then went for a girls' date with Mel and Stella. Product placement. That was just a KFC scene. And Mel was really devouring that thing. The rest of the girls were just sitting there doing nothing, but she was demolishing that thing. And it's like, girl, are you not cooking? Is Danny not cooking for? What's her husband? Sorry, is Luke not cooking for you? Make it make sense. But anyway, they seem to be in a great place. She was trying to sort of suss out ideas of what to do for her husband for their 1 month anniversary. And it's like, Mel, you do not need someone else to tell you what to do for your husband. You should be able to do that yourself. Then disaster struck, because then the commotion began between Tyson and Stephanie, because he was saying he wants a submissive wife. I don't think he wants a submissive wife. I think he wants one of those, what are those Amish women whereby they do everything for you and they just bend their head, yes my lord, yes my lord. That's exactly what he wants. He doesn't want a wife that sort of works against anything or says anything that's contradictory to what he's saying, because she was saying to him, you're a walking contradiction. You want a wife that stays at home, and you want a wife with a side hustle, but you are saying that I am too bossy, I'm too sort of masculine. And it's like, I don't think it's anything to do with masculine. I think it's just his idea that he's very... It's giving small d energy, really. Let's be for real. It's giving small d energy. He doesn't have the power to sort of stand up to her. And instead of saying that, he has decided to try and break her so that she can meet his bar at the bottom, because otherwise it's not that big a deal for him to call her out, go to the gym, come back and try and press reset and still struggle to press reset. Tells me production tried to sort of get him to restrain himself, but he didn't do himself any favors because he was still sort of pushing that thingy up a hill. And it's like, this man doesn't need to be here. He needs to go home. He really needs to go home. And hopefully he can find this person in the real world. I pity the women around him. Sam and Chris then received their honesty box. The first question was, "What does your perfect picture of family look like?" And you had Sam say he wants kids and he wants to be on open spaces, so he wants to be on a farm, which is something that already Chris has. So that's not a new question. What is one thing I should know about you? The fact that you had Chris say, "I'll tell you later," and you had Sam accept that makes me side-eye Sam, in the sense that why did you not push? Why exactly did you not push to say, give me an answer? Because unless you know that you're not there for the right reasons, that's the only reason why you wouldn't push. Otherwise, I would have pushed to say, okay, give me a hint of what you're sort of withholding, because it doesn't make sense to me that you'd withhold something and not be willing to tell me and just leave me in this gray area whereby I have to trust you and believe that you have my best interests at heart. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 14. Bye guys.